Hey everyone, Mike McClary here from amazing.com and Amazing Selling Machine. We also have a very special guest today. Danna is on here live with us, and Rich Henderson is here in the background, and he will be managing all the questions and comments that come in. It's gonna be an awesome interview. We've had Danna on before. She always does a great job. She's a new seller, but before I say anymore, let's make sure everyone can actually see and hear us. So Rich, if you want to go ahead and post something in there and let people respond, if you don't mind, let us know where you are at right now while you're watching this live interview so we can see exactly where everyone's at.
Okay, we got a couple of hi from Miami and a yes so far.
Excellent. Okay, New York City. Hi from Miami. Yes. A couple other ones right there. Las Vegas, Nevada, Olympia, Washington. Jay Von Bearstein's from Olympia. Matt Credello's from DC. That's a couple of DC folks here. Jake is from Memphis, Tennessee. Lisa's from Calgary. We have Shirazim, I can't see the full name because the username, from Trinidad and Tobago. As Bill Murray says in the movie Meatballs, an up-and-coming Olympic power. One of my favorite movies, by the way. So we have JF Hayes from Marshfield, Massachusetts. G. Michaels from Phoenix. Everyone can see and hear us. That's awesome. So, all right, welcome everyone to the call. Like we mentioned last week on our coaching call, we want to start bringing in more guests who are very much like where you were a year ago today. I know all the time we show you some of our sellers who are doing millions of dollars a year and they've been selling for several years. And the question comes up, what about people that have started in the past year? Well, we absolutely have tons of success stories. And today we're bringing on one of them, just one of many, that is one of our favorite people in the whole wide world. Danna lives in Panama, and she and her sister work in this business together and does an amazing job. So Danna, if you don't mind, welcome to the call and say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. So first off, Danna, why don't you let everyone know, some people may have seen an interview we did with you during the launch, but for those who haven't, let everyone know when you joined Amazing Selling Machine, what you were doing and are still doing now.
So I joined Amazing Selling Machine last year. It was in April. The course started in May. I was working in a bank. I still do. And we took the course in May. We went live in July. So we followed all the steps and we're live in July. And we started selling pretty well around September. So before that, all I knew about Amazon was that you could buy stuff. So, everyone can.
So, like I said, so you're living in Panama, but where do you sell it? In the United States?
Yes, we sell in the US. We're looking into other markets now, but US is our main market. Yes.
And then you work. Did you say, is it with your sister also?
Yes.
And where does she live at?
She lives in Chile. So we were hanging out in her home in Santiago last Passover, and we saw a post of a friend of ours. And first we thought that her computer was hacked, and then we contacted her and she said, no, this is for real, blah, blah, blah. And we looked into it and we decided that we could do this together, and we're doing it together. It's been amazing because it's brought us much closer. We speak every day, like millions of times a day. And, when you have people that are into different countries, sometimes it's like, oh, so what's new? And then, no, the kid's this, the kid's that. This is like a new subject every day. So we are in touch, and it has brought us so much closer. And I mean, we love it.
That is awesome. And also, now we shared this with me before, but so you started selling last summer. How much total sales and revenue have you done so far through, let's say, today or so?
So around 200 and a little bit plus.
$200,000, not 200.
215.
That is absolutely amazing. Someone who's, I mean, you don't do this part time. You said you're still working at the bank, a job that you like a lot, right?
Yes, I do wealth management, and I do have to say my sister is like she's become a pro in all the um, Amazon sponsored ads things and like the keyword research. She's like amazing. I mean, I couldn't have done this without her.
That is awesome. From someone who worked with their brother for a long time, I know the feeling. It is awesome to have someone to have your back in this as well. So also, you know, you live in Panama, your sister lives in Chile, you're selling in the United States.
Yes.
So that, I mean, hopefully that helps answer the question a lot of people have, like, do we have to live in the United States in order to actually, you know, make this business work? But you guys don't at all. And then the other one, I'm not going to, you know, ask exactly what your product is, be doing so well, but if I'm correct, you're not selling supplements and you're not selling beauty products, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Neither.
Because yeah, I want to make sure, because sometimes people think, well, you know, if you're doing that well right out of the gate, you must be selling in some really super crazy competitive market, and you're not at all. So you definitely are doing something right.
Well, it's become much more competitive by the minute. I mean, like we've seen many new sellers pop up, but it's normal, no? When you have we followed the criteria, and it took us. I remember, and this was something that we told to the last group. It took us like 2 or 3 weeks to be able to find a product, just doing the research, and we were delayed with the modules, but we weren't nervous about it. We were taking our time, and we wanted to make sure that before we kept on going, we knew what we were doing and that we were following all the steps. And so, guys, don't worry. You can take your time choosing your product. That's the most important thing. People get frustrated and like, oh my God, hey, I'm gonna miss out. You're not missing out on anything. We started in May, and July 30th, we were already selling the product. What you need to do is make sure that you do study your opportunities properly and choose one that you know that you can succeed in, you know, and that you like, because once you start working on it, you're gonna become your #1 fan. So you need to like the product.
That's great advice, because everyone on here, they joined just like you did. So they would have joined, you know, at the end of April, early May. They just started. They're in week 3. And so week 3, we start talking about actually contacting, you know, suppliers and getting actual quotes and getting ready to place inventory order. But like Danna says, if you don't have your products picked out right now, don't stress about it. I mean, look where she's at. She took her time to find the product that she knew met the criteria, was a good opportunity, and that she liked as well. So tell us a bit about that, Danna. So again, without going into the category, is it something that you had thought you would sell before you actually started looking for it?
Not at all. But I mean, the way that we worked it out was we both were taking the class, and we each made our list, and then we started choosing which were the best opportunities in each side. And this one, Gina found it actually, and we thought it was a very cool idea. So we started ordering some samples. I ordered a couple of samples of some other things, and then we said, you know what, this is the best one. We got 3 samples. 2 suppliers had like the exact same quality, like super good quality. And we were like, who should we choose? Who should we choose? And we said the one that answers the fastest. So we went with them, and we love our supplier. I mean, she's been so good that there was a point in time during the holidays that she even sent the merchandise without us paying. And that's like unheard of in China. So like, we got a line of credit in China. Imagine that.
That is awesome. By the way, if you're just joining us right now, we have Danna from Panama working with her sister from Chile, selling in the United States. Already done well over $200,000 in sales. Been selling for less than a year. Started selling at the very end of July last year. So we're really only about 9-10 months into this at the most. Just amazing person, success story. If you have any questions for Danna, feel free to put them here, make a comment into the chat, and then we will be asking her as many as we possibly can. If you can't tell, She looks really nice. She's all dressed up and ready to go, so she can't stay too long, but we'll try to keep her as long as we can now. So back to the question about finding the right product. So you have an awesome supplier. We talk about it in the course. You filed it exactly because a supplier relationship can mean a lot. Has there been other times when your supplier has really come through for you as well?
Well, she's been amazing. Like every single time that we've had a need, they fix it for us. So we've been very lucky, and we think more than lucky. When we were trying to choose the person that we thought would be most responsive, and they were the most responsive. We would write and they would reply. Same day at their schedule, no, but they would reply right away instead of waiting for 2-3 days. So whenever we had an issue during the last year, we send them an email or a WeChat or whatever, and a couple of hours later we have an answer. So it's been amazing.
That is awesome. Yeah, 'cause this could be a lifelong relationship that you build with someone. So it's really important to keep that in mind. So also, how were the holidays for you? Like you were really lucky enough to get going. I mean, exactly at the same time last year as this group. What kind of holiday sales can these people expect if they get their product up and selling like you did?
Holidays are insane, guys. So if you're selling well by September, October, don't take out one penny. Just order more inventory. Like more and more and more inventory. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. We sold around 2,400 units in December, like November, December. It was like $85,000 in 30 days. So it was incredible. So just be ready for it. Specifically, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Those were like incredible days.
Awesome. And so as some people on the call probably have heard of, and we know, is that we have Prime Day coming up in the summer. If, just realistically, very, 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 very few people on the call right now could get a product up and selling and invited by Amazon for Prime Day. I want to tell you, don't worry about that. Focus on getting ready for the holiday season. Because Danna, did you have a product that was selling for Prime Day last year?
No, I didn't even know what Prime Day was last year.
That is awesome. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of great questions come in, and if you don't mind, I want to go straight to them because some of them were the ones that I was going to ask you already. And for the record, no questions about my earrings will be asked on this call. They're not earrings. These are Google Pixel buds. I hear they're trendy and fashionable. So Miss Lauf, thank you for asking about them. But Danna, so how many products did you start with, and how many are you selling right now?
We started with one. When we had to add additional products, we were thinking of another product or a variation. And when we've done is that we've added several variations. They have helped us spike our sales, and we're already working on our second product in the same line, like business line.
Okay,
so we want to keep using the same brand, but right now only one product.
Okay, so you had one product. When did you add that? So a second variation can be either a size or a color, something like that. When do you remember adding that second variation?
It was a little bit before November. I think it was October. Okay. And I think the whole thing was that we came up with the variation ourselves. So you know how usually when we're doing the training, we try to do like whatever the best guy is doing and make it better. So we did that. But then when we came up with the variation, we said, oh, no one is doing this. Everyone is doing whatever. So let's do this. And now we have tons of people copying us. So that's interesting to see.
Yeah, no, that's great though. But you guys, I mean, you guys are definitely rocking and crushing it right now. So they are going to have a very long way to catch up with you guys. So you launched your second product then. Well, so you're getting ready to launch your second product. Is that right?
We're on the way.
Have you placed the order for it?
Yes.
Are they manufactured?
No.
Okay.
It's on its way.
Okay, excellent. So great. So those will be ready in summertime and then ready for the holiday season, right?
Hopefully a little early, yeah.
And then for your very first order, do you remember how many units you ordered of your inventory? 500. Okay. And then those sold out pretty quickly?
No, we started selling in the beginning. It was like a couple of units a day, like 2 or 3, then like 5. And then we started adding keywords to the sponsored ads. And that helped us rank a little bit in different, so like instead of people looking for green shirt, and they would look for a fashionable green shirt, and we would be there, for example. And that helped us a lot. And we started selling by September. We were selling like 17, and we had like 200 units in stock, or 180, whatever. We had already placed our second order, and we had ordered 1,000 units. And we were like, yeah, this is gonna last us like a month and a half until they sell out and the other inventory arrives. And oh my God, we sold 15, 19, 20, 22, 30, 30, 30, and then 3 days later we were out of stock. So that's the first thing that our supplier actually helped us, because we called her like, please help, and she shipped us by air like the next day a couple of 100 units. And that's how we started to, like, get on there. And then we made a plan, because we knew that this was going to be not enough. So we ordered around 4,100 units, thinking about even January. And we also, if we had more, we would have sold them.
That's crazy. So you first order was 500, and you 8 times that only about 6 months later by ordering over 4,000.
Yes,
go ahead. Yeah.
If I can give a piece of advice, I think the key is the listing. Like, make sure to learn once you're selling. I know you're not there yet, guys, but once you're selling, you need to make sure that you start to learn how it works. So if you're not getting enough clicks, people are not liking the outside. If people are going in but they're not buying, you get the clicks but they don't buy, then something in the inside needs to be better, so it's very important that you keep on working on your listing all the time and testing so that you can make it better.
That is awesome advice. I've never heard it put that way. You're right. But I mean, you just talked about listing optimization and conversion rates in a nutshell. That is great advice. We do talk about it in the course near the end, especially modules 7 and 8. So that's plenty of time by the time that your products are ordered or on their way. Maybe by then we'll have Danna come on another call again and ask more detailed questions.
Okay.
So absolutely pay attention to your listing, why people are not clicking on it first, and why people aren't buying. She also mentioned something earlier about sponsored ads and really paying attention to that. You can talk a little bit more about, I think, first off, what sponsored ads are. I don't know if most people on the call know yet. We haven't gotten to that yet. But then what they are basically, and then how you guys really mastered that.
So sponsored ads are the Amazon, when you search for a product and then you set sponsored on the top, that's the sponsored ads. And you pay per click. So if they show you, and you only pay when people click and go into your listing. And the cool thing about those is that we've found that they help you rank. So if you start paying for your important keywords, and they start converting well, they help you go up in rank. And you'll learn about that in the near future with I think it's like module 5 or 6 with the launch and all of that. But pay attention to the ads, because some people, just by starting with that, don't even have to go to the launch, like if you do it properly.
Yep. No, that's awesome advice. So if you guys are taking notes, definitely do that. Pay attention to listing optimization, the way that Danna described it. And also when we get to it as well, really digging into your sponsored keyword ads. And one of the things that I want to throw out there is that we have awesome training on each of these. However, some of the responsibility falls upon you. You know your product better than anyone. I know Danna, she, this would not have been a product that she would have sold initially, but she probably knows her product and her customers very well now. I mean, so talk about that a little bit, Danna. So now that you're selling it, and you and your sister probably know a lot more about what people are searching for than you did starting off, right?
Totally. And I think one of the main secrets is, after, even though ASM is like the best course out there, and I give you my word, you always need to keep on reading. Look for articles, look for different things, talk to other people in the group, like share with people in the community, ask in the community. The community is an amazing asset. Because when you're like stuck at something and you think that you won't be able to make it, there's like 2,000 people there rooting for you and trying to find a solution to your problem. So yeah, I think that's that.
That is awesome advice. And then another piece of advice you gave earlier also, and we talk about this in the welcome module and later on, is if you want to grow this business fast, the best way to do that, the fastest way, is to, as much as you can, reinvest everything you make back into it. So how was that? I mean, I know that's what you did, Danna, but how was that for you and your sisters? Have you always done that? Or are you finally taking money out now, or are you still putting more money into it?
No, we took money out in January. So we waited until the holiday season was over. We put money twice in. So in the beginning for the course, and then the first inventory order. Then when we were running low, we needed more, and we still hadn't collected from Amazon. Amazon pays you 2 weeks after the customer receives so 7 days after the customer received the product, 2 weeks after that. So it takes a little while, but once you start rolling, you don't even notice that anymore. So we started putting into new inventory everything that we were collecting, even to the point where I would tell my supplier, like, listen, here's my bank account in zero, and here's the balance that I have on Amazon. As soon as they send me the money, you'll get it. So, and then they would send the merchandise anyway. So it was very lucky. We got very lucky with that, no?
Well, I mean, you started selling so well so quickly too that there's no way that you can sell 500 units and be ready to order 4,000.
Yes. No, and they it's so funny because the Chinese supplier, they go into our listing all the time, and they tell us like, oh, did you see you got this review? Oh, I see that you are running low on stock. Oh, I see that it shows it's going to be available on X date. So it's very nice because they feel that they're a part of it, So that's amazing.
That is great. Another reason to have, treat your suppliers well, because they are like a partner in this business.
Yes.
So, you kind of mentioned this. Someone asked, what kind of financial hurdles you had to overcome. And it sounds like the biggest one would have been placing that 4,000 unit order.
Yes, that was it. And it came to a point in time where we added a little extra money. In the end, it was mostly like, I think it was around 18,000 or something in total that we put. And then we started taking everything from Amazon. But we didn't take a penny out until we had enough inventory to, keep going, and enough money in the account to keep going without having to put any more in.
That is awesome. Well, you're doing all the right things to make sure that you grow this as quickly as possible. And the results are showing that. We have several other questions for you too. So, Danna, what is the best, how are you shipping your products from Amazon? Are you using a freight forwarder, and are you going by air or by ocean?
Okay, so in the beginning, we were going by air. That's why we were able to start in July. The first time we did use a freight forwarder, and I really suggest you do, depending on your product, and especially if you're not packaging in a square box, because once they're in the carton, if you're not in boxes, many of those boxes break, and you don't want Amazon to get those broken boxes. So you want someone to receive them the first time, do the inspection, check that everything is okay, and then send them to Amazon. And the second time and on, we were so rushed to get the inventory there that we just, winged it. It worked. There was one one little hurdle with a box that had the wrong label with the different variation, and customers started getting the wrong product, and we had to like, Amazon stop, and they had to do a manual inventory. But it was fixed, and after that, we've been able to ship directly to Amazon all the time and with the correct labels. And now we're doing by ocean. So the last shipment, for instance, we thought that we were going to run low in a couple of the variations. So we sent a couple hundred units by air and the rest by ocean. So
this is awesome. I mean, Rich, I don't know if you're hearing this, like Danna's giving textbook answers to everything. And I swear to you, we have not went over this on this call, but use the freight forwarder for your first one, because it limits the risk. Make sure that someone else who's done this before knows what to do. Then once you're comfortable, you have a really good supplier, look at Danna. She's got an awesome relationship. Then you can start shipping directly to Amazon if you want to. And if you need products quicker, split them up, have some go by air, and the rest go by ocean to save costs. It's everything textbook that we teach you. So you are like the primo student for us, Danna. That's and then another question we had from someone was, has everything always gone smoothly for you, or have you had hurdles? So talk a little. You mentioned one right there about some of the variations getting mixed up.
So in Amazon, nothing is ever smooth. Okay. I would love to say that once you have your product going, it's going to be smooth. It isn't. Every time you're gonna have something different going on. Like one day we sell 50 units and the next day our listing disappears. And you're like, where's our listing? So where is it? And you search by brand and you search by this and it's gone. Like black hole gone. And it took us like a week working with Amazon to be able to get it back on. And then we lost all of our rankings. So we had to do everything all over again. And so that was one. The color mix-up was the other one. We have had so many things. It's like then our ads stopped working. So we go from selling, I don't know, 50 units to selling 8. And you're like, what's wrong? And you're like going crazy until you realize that the ads are off because you had a brand name in your backend search terms, and now Amazon is implementing that TOS. So it goes, you have to go with it. Just keep going. Don't ever feel that you have to stop, because trust me, we've felt it. Like, you know what, we're gonna give up, and then we say like, no, we have too much, and we enjoy it, no? But you need to keep going. The trick is to keep going. Don't let yourself get bothered. It's normal. It happens to every single person. You'll see it in the community once you're in there.
That is awesome. And if you keep pushing forward like Danna does, look where she's at today. So great advice. No one ever wants to tell you that everything will be smooth, because it won't. This is a real business with real struggles, but the community's here for you. I mean, Danna reaches out and talks to people all the time. She's met people in her own country and other live events. She's always out socializing. Highly recommend get to know people in the community. It's invaluable to you. Richard Galigis, by the way, says great advice so far. We got several different comments from people loving all your tips and advice, Danna.
Thank you.
Let's see. So do you remember how you got your first reviews?
Yeah, we followed the advice in the course. I messed up, if you remember. You were supposed to sell at full price, but at a lower price. And Danna, as inventive as always, created a coupon. So all of my first reviews were unverified. But still, we did them. And luckily, they weren't taken away, because now they're stricter with that. So have family and friends buy a couple of your products and ask them to review it for you. Just make sure they don't buy it from your own address or your own Wi-Fi, or so they can track it to you.
Yep, absolutely. And for anyone if you're selling in the US, you don't live in the US, and if you don't know people in the US, we're letting people post in the community. So you can ask friends of other members to buy your products also. So you don't ever want to try to like share reviews with other members, because Amazon can tie those all together. They're getting much smarter of it. But if, for example, you post and say that you have a product that I might like, then I can, or I could say that maybe my brother or my sister might buy the product. So if you need help, you don't live in the country that you're selling in, post in the community for help, and we'll give you more guidelines there too.
And also look for groups in Amazon and in Facebook. There are plenty of groups, and people from the community can invite you to some of these like secret groups, and you buy it, then they reimburse through PayPal. I know it's not supposed to, but
so yeah, we don't necessarily recommend those, but there's hey, this is a real live call, and Danna's sharing what's worked for her. That's always totally fine. No, and you know what? And another great, when you mention groups also, it's totally fine also to look for groups of people that really like your types of products. If you sell certain pet products like dog lovers and you sell dog product, go join that group. Absolutely. It can be very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Danna, what your conversion rate was at the beginning and what it is now? Are you the numbers person?
I don't remember exactly, but I know that our conversion has always been very good. So our issue is sending enough traffic. So it used to be like around 15. We always go between like 15 all the way to like 25, 30%. And I know Black Friday was like 33% or something insane like that. So like 1 out of 3 people purchased. That was like, okay.
That's crazy. That's so anywhere from 15 to 30, those are awesome numbers. We recommend 10 as the rock bottom low. If you're not doing 10, you need to look into your higher. If you get to where Danna's at 15, it can go up towards 30. You are doing really, really well.
It's not always 30. It's like a couple of days.
Well, it's not always, but yeah, kind of like you can go up. For UPC codes, do you remember if you bought like the standard GS1 or did you buy them from somewhere else?
Nationwide, whatever. The one that you guys put in the course.
Yep. So, and Rich talks about this a lot. Now you're 2, module 3. He actually has that's in there, and we'll get more into it later on. Even though Amazon is still saying technically, and we still say Amazon recommends GS1, I've bought barcodes from Nationwide. Rich has, Danna has. We haven't seen any problems with them. And usually what happens, you'll hear about it right away. If you put your product in there, you're listing it. They'll tell you whether it's not a valid one, if that even happens, but it hasn't happened yet.
Plus, I don't even really get why they ask for the barcode or the UPC, whatever, because you end up using their FNSQ and that's it. My box comes
exactly
Amazon label on, so.
Yep. No, you're exactly right. So let's get some great questions here also. Danna, did you ask people in the community for help? And what resources did you use to overcome the issues that you came across?
So yes, we always ask people in the community for help, and we always help too. So that's very important to be really a part of it, no? I've even made friends too, which when I had a couple of units that I wanted to know if were defective, people that I met in the ASM live event, I would send the product to their homes, and they would check it for me. And this guy is so sweet. He even packed it back up and sent them back to Amazon, relabeled them and sent them back to Amazon for me. So that's one of my ASM friends, and that it's a person that I didn't know, that I met in a live event, and we just clicked, and I'd be happy to do that for anyone else also. So if I could,
that is awesome.
Not in the States.
No, that's awesome. That's great. It's what the community's there for. And I can tell you for a fact that Danna is in the community answering questions and helping people all the time. So we appreciate that too, Danna. Here's an awesome one. This is all great advice, Danna. How are we able to handle your day job and running this business?
I have a partner. So in the beginning, we would do it on the weekends, right? So we were taking the course, modules come out on Friday, and then I would look at them on Sunday, because I'm like sort of like religious and I wouldn't want to do it on Saturday. And then I would take my computer for the research. But once the product ball is rolling, you don't need to dedicate as much time. You need to do the homework, your description, your title, your this and that, the research. And now it's just following up, keeping in touch with your supplier, do the everyday research with the keywords and the ads and this and that. Gina is the one who mainly does that. So yeah, we split the work. And we're always in touch saying like, oh, can you do this? Because I can't. Can you fix this coupon? Can you fix this ad? And that's how it works. The one who's available fixes it.
That is awesome. But and like you said, you don't have to spend full time on this business, even if Gina wasn't around.
Right. But even less if you have only one product. Maybe when we have 10, then yeah, but not now.
Danna, does your product have a big brand competitor? Like, are you going up against any big names? And if so, do people like your product better than theirs?
Not a big brand, but there are a couple of like Amazon brands like us that were established before we got there. We've become like number 2 or number 3. So we're doing okay.
Awesome.
It's been hard. Sometimes they do like weird things, like overhaul the listing and this and that. And they have, one thing is that it's really hard to get like organic reviews. We have like all the email sequence and everything. And I put the link, so they just have to click. And even though like not as many conversions as I would like, and they've grown in reviews, even though we've grown too. So that's the thing. You need to keep going, no?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have competition, but you're still doing well.
Yes.
You guys are growing, which is awesome. Just we are at almost the 40-minute mark, which means in about 5 minutes we'll need to let Danna go here. I have a couple more questions that I definitely want to get to here, though. One I almost missed before has to do with product selection. Several people ask, how long it took for you to find your first product. I think you already said 3 weeks.
Couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks, and then someone. Oh, go ahead.
Keep going in the rest of the course until you found your product.
So, and that was the other question. So, if they haven't found their product yet, should they keep going or just focus on finding the product?
I would focus on finding the product.
Great advice. Awesome. And then the big question, a lot of people. So we have a couple ones that I'll just kind of get off there. Someone asked how many products you're selling. She's selling 1 with a couple of variations, but we'll be selling 2 very shortly. Someone asked also about starting multiple LLCs with multiple brands. Danna, you only have 1 brand right now. Is that correct?
Yeah. So far, I'm selling under my own name.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So for anyone who thinks they need to go out there and get a professional.
I got the LLC.
business.
I still haven't used it because I don't have the US bank account for it yet.
So you do not have to have that set up in order to have success like Danna.
Trademark your brand once you know that it's going to be your brand, and that because it takes like forever, and then you can't do like special Amazon ads. So if you chose your product, you have your brand and it starts selling, don't wait as long as I did. Trademark your brand like in month 3, not months 6 or 7.
And that leads me into the final question that several people have asked here. If there's anything you could do over, what would you change differently other than start your trademark search sooner?
Nothing. I think we've done, follow the instructions. If you follow everything the way these guys teach you, you'll do great, and don't give up. Aside from that, I wouldn't change anything. I think we've done great.
You definitely have, Danna. And, and the mistakes that, not the mistakes you've made, that's the bad way of putting it. The hurdles you've overcome have, they've set you up for success in the future, because it's a part of the business and you know how to get around them. And Rich, and if he were on around, he would vouch for me. We've seen a growth in Danna, and I'm going to build you up a little bit here because, she was like any other new person. When something went wrong, of course, you hate it when it happens and it feels like the sky is falling. But now look at how easily things roll off her shoulders. She knows this is a real business. She knows there's hurdles, and she also knows that she has the ability to get beyond them. And she's done it time and time again. You are amazing, Danna. You've just done awesome. You and Gina too. All right, so we're gonna have to wrap this up real soon. Everyone here is giving you lots of great kudos. Carrie Ann Wilson, thank you for the great interview. Actually, you answered a question for Nils Tavel. I can't. These are just screen names. Can't see them all. Everyone's saying great things. Danna, I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Both Rich and I. Andy's in the background. He's working the whole webinar for us behind us. We definitely will have Danna on again in the future because she's just always an amazing person to talk to and get more insights. And for the record, she's taught us some pretty nifty tricks that she's learned through running the business too. So she definitely knows how to figure things out. So Danna, thank you again. And I hope you have an awesome time tonight.
Thank you. You guys too.
And Rich, I'm going to let you say goodbye to everyone and close out the call because you've been busy typing away, answering questions.
Yeah, I mean, like, just to say goodbye and thank you, Danna, as always. It's one of the reasons we love having Danna on here. Not only is she, she's got loads of knowledge and she loves to give back, but she's also a lot of fun too. So thank you, Danna, and thanks everyone for being on the call. And we'll see you all on Thursday at 2 p.m. Central. Don't miss it.
And next week, we're going to have another live interview at the exact same time. Look for an email next week. Another success story. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in 2 days.